Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Maddie. I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and in today's video I'm talking about shipping on all three different platforms and how to get free supplies from USPS.com. This was a video that one of you guys suggested that I make for just clarification purposes if you're new to shipping or if you just need a quick refresher. So I'm going to be talking about how to ship on all three of the different platforms, but first we're going to start with Poshmark. Poshmark is definitely the most popular reselling platform to get started on because the shipping on there is so easy. So Poshmark, the advantage of shipping on there is you can literally use any sort of shipping material to ship so long as you're staying under 5 pounds. So literally you could get a cereal box that's empty, put your item inside of it, tape it up, and put a label on there and ship it off. Now, I'm not recommending that you do that, but I'm just saying that's why Poshmark is so popular. So on Poshmark, the shipping fee is $7.97 unless you are shipping 5 pounds or over. So if you're shipping anything that is 5 pounds or less, it's going to be $7.97. Now, anytime that you do send out an offer to Watcher on Poshmark, whether it's 10% off, 20% off, etc., you are having to offer a shipping discount. That does eat into the cost that you're ultimately taking home, but it does entice a buyer to buy from your store because $7.97 is a great deal if you're buying multiple items and you're getting around that 5 pound mark. But if you're buying one blouse that weighs 4 ounces, $7.97 is way too expensive for shipping just for that little item. Now, if you are selling a bundle or a heavier item that does weigh more than 5 pounds, you do have to upgrade your shipping label in Poshmark. Now, you can do that by going to your shipping label in the Poshmark app and it will say new shipping label. When you click on that, it will give you options to upgrade, and you can upgrade up to 10 pounds, but it is very expensive to upgrade shipping on Poshmark, so you may want to ask your buyer to break down their bundle into multiple shipments. Some buyers are okay with that and some will fight you on it and tell you that they're not going to pay that. So it really depends on your business model, what you're comfortable with. Just know that if you are shipping something that is 5 pounds or heavier, Poshmark will most likely email you and let you know that you went over the Poshmark 5 pound limit and that they're going to charge you the next time that you do this and or potentially suspend your account. So it's not really worth it to try and get away with shipping something that is more than 5 pounds. Now let's talk about what you can use to ship on Poshmark. So as I mentioned earlier, you can literally put your item into anything, including a cereal box. I could probably even put my item into a Ziploc bag, stick my label on that Ziploc bag and ship it out. Again, that's not best practice. Your item's not going to arrive in great condition. If you do that, you're risking a lot of damage, so I would not recommend it, but you could actually do that. But what I like to do is I like to use free shipping supplies that you can get from USPS.com. You can also get these free shipping supplies at your local post office, but as a hermit, as an introvert, I like to order things online. Just keep in mind it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to a month for the items to be delivered to your door, and then sometimes even longer if it's an in-demand style. But for smaller items, I like to use the padded flat rate envelope. I like it because it has a little bit of extra protection with that padding inside. And then most items that are smaller and rectangular, whenever you fold them up, can fit into here pretty easily. Now, if it is a bundle or a bulkier item, I like to use the boxes. You do have to build them yourself, so I did use some eBay tape here to build this. This is a large box, a large flat rate box, but I also do like to use the medium box as well. And these are really great for bundles. I just fold everything up, put it in there. And what else is really cool is on Poshmark, let's say that your items that you're shipping, they are too tall for it. So you could get another box, build it, and then just like put it on top. And as Ginger Marvin always likes to say on YouTube, you can make a Franken box. You could also reuse Amazon boxes. Tyvek envelopes from USPS.com is great as well. So pretty much anything. It really does allow you to be the most like eco-conscious of all the platforms whenever you're shipping, since you can reuse things based on purchases that you got yourself. So that is why everyone says that Poshmark shipping is so easy. You don't really have to think about it. And I definitely do agree with that sentiment. is as long as you're shipping something that's 5 pounds or less, Poshmark is definitely going to be the easiest way to ship items. But again, that $7.97 shipping for something that is lightweight can sometimes hinder your performance on Poshmark unless you are willing to offer discounts and deals. Now moving on to eBay. eBay is intimidating for a lot of people to ship on, and I totally understand why. So unlike Poshmark, you cannot use anything to ship on, and you're having to be very specific about the weight of your item and your total shipment in general. So what I mean by your total shipment in general, let's say that I'm selling a shirt. Now, whenever I go to weigh my item, I'm not just going to weigh the shirt by itself. I would have to weigh the shirt inside of, let's say I'm using a box. I would have to put the shirt inside the box, I would fold the box up, and then I would weigh it in totality, and then I would also have to put the dimensions, which is why you probably wouldn't want to use a box to weigh your shirt, because it is going to cost you more money in the long run. So you are going to need a scale of some sort. This is just a kitchen scale. Just always make sure that the calibrations on it are correct. That way you're not off on your shipments, because no matter what, if you're off on your shipment and off on how much your item weighs, eBay will catch you. Now the good part of this is if you end up putting that your item weighed more than it actually did, they will also refund you for shipping. That has happened to me quite often as well. But if you lie and say that your item only weighs 3 ounces when it really weighed 7 ounces, they will come for you, they will get you, and they will take that money out of your account, because they are not going to cover that overdraft fee. Really what you need to know is your items that are 1 pound or less and 1 pound or over. So if your item is 1 pound or less, you're probably going to use USPS Ground Advantage. Now, USPS Ground Advantage means that you are having to ship your item using your own mailer. You cannot use a free mailer. That will make it cost more money. As you can see here, it says padded flat rate envelope. That means that this is a flat rate to ship with, and it is expensive to use these, so I would not recommend that. Instead, what you can do is you can buy different mailers on Amazon or different websites. Just kind of shop around and you'll be able to get good deals. Also, if you do have an eBay store where you're having to pay a monthly subscription, not your basic store where it's free just to have a store, you are going to get a voucher every single quarter that lets you get eBay shipping supplies. You can find that under promotions and then subscriber discounts, and it will come up with a coupon code and then also a link to all of the eBay supplies, and it is up to you what you get. I've gotten eBay boxes before, I've gotten eBay poly mailers, and I have so much eBay tape. So as you guys can see here, here's my eBay tape. I have a bunch of it. It comes in the multicolor. It also comes in black and whites. Stickiness, it's not the best, but it definitely does the job. So you can get quite a few rolls for a good deal. And then I also do have some eBay branded mailers. So when you're shipping USPS Ground Advantage, you're going to want to use a mailer like this. As you can see, the only branding on it is eBay. It is not affiliated with USPS, so that means that I am able to use this because it is not a flat rate price. So I would put my item in here, I would weigh it using my kitchen scale, and then if it weighs 6 ounces, I would probably just go ahead and round up to 7 ounces just to be on the safe side, and then whatever comes up is how much I pay for shipping. Now on eBay, you do get to decide how much you charge your buyer for shipping. Whereas on Poshmark, it is that flat rate. On eBay, you're going to either do calculated shipping, which is where eBay has a way to calculate how much it's going to cost the buyer to pay for shipping depending on their location and how much your item weighs. Or you can decide to do a flat rate for every single buyer on your item. I personally choose to do a flat rate. I've been shipping on eBay for the past 3 to 3.5 years, so I kind of know what everything does cost to ship. So I know that if something is 4 ounces, it's probably going to cost my buyer, regardless of where they are in the US, like $5 to ship. So I would just put in $5. If you ever overcharge a buyer by a significant amount and you feel guilty about that, you can also always refund your buyer. Now, if you undercharge your buyer and you try and charge them more for shipping later, that's not gonna fly. So I always try and err on the side of caution, and I overcharge by a few cents, maybe $1, instead of undercharge. And I don't honestly refund everyone if I overcharge them for shipping. If it's like a significant amount, like let's say I charge them $4 more than they should have paid, I might then refund them. But if it's 75 cents or like $1.50, I think we're all square there. I always give really good deals on eBay as well, so I think we're okay. You might occasionally even have someone reach out to you and ask you if you can lower the shipping price, because they might think they know what it does cost to ship, and at that point you can either say no, it is what it is, or you can reevaluate if that buyer is telling the truth and if you really want to make the sale. That is for items that are 1 pound or less. For sure, they're probably going to go USPS Ground Advantage. If your item weighs more than 1 pound, you have more options. So you can use your own mailer like that, and it can still go USPS Ground Advantage, but it's probably going to cost anywhere from like $7 to $10, depending on how heavy your item is, and then also where you're shipping your item off to. I live in Texas, so if I was going to ship something all the way to New York, it would cost me a decent amount to ship. Whereas since I live in Dallas, if I was shipping something to Austin, Texas, it's probably not going to cost me that much to ship. So what you can do is you have, again, a few different options. You can use USPS Ground Advantage, and that might cost a little bit more, or you can use different services such as UPS or FedEx. Again, what you're going to do is you're going to input your total weight and dimensions onto eBay. And what eBay will do is it will show you all of the shipping options and how much it will cost to ship the items out using that platform. So before you agree to anything, you can sit there and you can weigh your different options. You can be like, okay, it costs $9.42 to ship this via FedEx, but it costs $9.37 to ship via USPS Advantage. So that's kind of where you have to sit there and you have to play like a numbers game of sorts. Now, something else that you can use when it's over a pound is, regardless of the weight, if you can fit your item into this envelope. This one is different than the padded flat rate envelope. This is called our flat rate envelope. It says one rate, any weight, and it's going to cost $7.60 to use this envelope, even if it's like 3 pounds. Now, I don't use this envelope a lot. It is very flimsy. It's just made of cardboard, and it doesn't really provide a lot of give. So if you do have a bulkier item, it probably won't fit in here. And this is not one where you can grab another envelope like this and then make your own Franken envelope. You will get in trouble for that. So if it doesn't fit in one of these and it's over a pound, you're just out of luck. You can't use that $7.60 rate. And then for whatever reason, the padded flat rate envelope, it has a higher rate to ship. So I just never use these on eBay because it does get really expensive. Same with the flat rate boxes. Those get really expensive. You're looking anywhere from like $15 to $25 to use a box on there. So I just would not use it. Another alternative that you can use is you can use a third-party website called Pirate Ship to get different rates as well. A lot of the times their rates are a little bit cheaper than eBay's, but you are having to go through an extra step of inputting all of your buyer's information onto Pirate Ship and then buying that through the third party. And then you also have to upload a tracking number onto eBay so that your buyer does know that it is tracking. So it's additional steps, but it might save you money in the long run. So you might want to look into creating a Pirate Ship account. It's completely free to create. You just obviously do have to pay anytime that you create a shipping label. And that's something that I would definitely look into if you're shipping things that are heavier. And the last website that we're going to be talking about is shipping on Mercari. Mercari shipping is kind of like somewhere in between eBay and Poshmark shipping in terms of difficulty. It's really not that difficult to ship on Mercari, but with that said, Mercari charges their buyer a decent amount to ship. So what I've noticed is on Mercari, if it's like 6 ounces or less, then they charge, I want to say like $5 or $6 to ship the item, regardless if it's 3 ounces or 4 or 6 ounces. And then if it's like 1 pound to 8 ounces, then it's going to be, I think, about $7 to ship. So just make sure whenever you're listing your item that you're putting things in correctly weight-wise, because there's really no going back and negotiating with the buyer on the shipping fees. There's no way really to upgrade it once they've already purchased the item. So let's say that you sell something and you thought it was only going to be 6 ounces, but it turns out that it's 12 ounces. There's no easy way to go into Mercari and rectify that situation. You can't upload an alternate tracking number. Instead, you have to reach out to the buyer with your updated tracking number with the upgraded weight that you have to buy then from a third-party alternative. And it looks on Mercari systems and like you didn't actually ship the item out, so you're really putting a lot of faith in the buyer to be honest and say that they received the item, because they could say that you never shipped the item and that they never got it since it's not into Mercari's account. So hopefully that wasn't confusing, but basically just make sure you're putting in accurate information on Mercari. Otherwise, there's a lot of lies that could be done to scam you out of your item in the money that you are making from that sale. If your item on Mercari is a pound or more, they pretty much make you use UPS or FedEx, so you don't really have that USPS ground advantage anymore. And to ship with them on UPS or FedEx, it is pretty expensive, so just keep that in mind, because a lot of buyers on Mercari will message you and try and get you to lower your shipping price, but you can't change the weight of your item, so it just kind of is what it is. Maybe you can work something out with them where you give them a good deal on just like the base of the item so that it rounds out that they're not paying that much in total. But it's definitely, in my opinion, a bit of a hassle to have to go to UPS or FedEx, whereas USPS offers that free package pickup. So I'm always kind of like very mindful of that, because anytime that you spend driving around going to the FedEx store or the UPS store, that is time and money wasted. So just keep all of that in mind whenever you are shipping. That is everything that I can think of when it comes to shipping. I kind of just gave you guys the basics. There are definitely different nuances in shipping if you get even more technical and with it, but hopefully you did find this helpful. If you do have any follow-up questions or any other topics that you guys do want me to cover, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will get back to you guys with the best answer that I have. If you did enjoy this video, please do make sure that you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe. I'll see you guys next video. Bye!